Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Gold Rush, is Tony Beets really a mean person? Gold Rush fans who watch the Discovery show know that Tony Beets is a Dutchman who worked his way up in the mining industry. Once just another machine operator, he's a big man in the Klondike now. Apart from that, is he a mean person? Discovery fans want to know about that, so they discussed him on social media recently. Tony Beets sometimes seems mean and nasty. Parker Schnibel and Tony struggle for years to stay at the top of their mining game. Actually, they clashed over the years, and sometimes he had to be reminded that Parker worked just as hard as anyone else. As it's a harsh environment, competition between miners always seems bound to happen. Tony Beets is not always a nice guy to work for, judging by the Discovery show. However, some viewers think that Fred Lewis is way worse. In fact, the crew members who leave and go over to Parker compare it to leaving hell and moving to heaven. However, recent fans think that Tony might win the award for being mean and nasty. Gold Rush fans discuss the Dutchman. A newcomer to watching the Discovery show took to Reddit and raised some questions about Kevin's dad. The OP wrote about binging the show. Is Tony Beets really that big of a jerk? Hey guys, new member here, first time post. I've got a question. Me and my wife have been binging this show now, and we are on season 9 of the show. In the early seasons of the show, Fred was kinda the villain of the show, but ever since Tony has been in the show, he's gotten meaner and meaner. Is he really this mean? The show makes him look downright evil. Ick about spoilers, so if they make up, go ahead and tell me lol. Those who followed the Gold Rush show for years disagreed that Tony Beets is plain mean. Interestingly, some of them met the miner and others worked in the industry. He does a hard job in a hard environment. He doesn't have time to be cuddly. I've worked with and for guys like him. It's nothing personal. They just don't have the time or the tolerance for nonsense. And he's running a business in what I assume is very brutal and competitive line of work. They should totally understand Tony's straightforward no-nonsense. The Parker drama, Tony is pushing his buttons on purpose to test Parker. Want to see the real Tony? Check out his Facebook, or when he sees his granddaughter, sick, on cam. Tony Beets seems to be very successful, and his net worth of $15 million proves that. However, he probably comes across as a no-nonsense person because time is money. As he worked so hard for his success, do you agree that he has not got the time to coddle people? In the rolling hills of the Klondike, where whispers of fortune echo through the frosty air, there exists a man whose very name sends shivers down the spines of seasoned miners and novices alike. Tony Beets, a figure both revered and reviled in equal measure, stands as a titan amidst the gold-laden landscape of the Yukon. But behind his gruff exterior and stern demeanor lies a question that lingers in the minds of many. Is Tony Beets truly a mean person? To understand the enigma that is Tony Beets, one must first delve into the annals of his past, tracing the footsteps of a man who carved his destiny from the unforgiving earth. Born and raised in the Netherlands, a land far removed from the rugged terrain of the Klondike, Beets harbored dreams as vast as the ocean that separated him from his future endeavors. It was in the early days of his youth that the spark of ambition ignited within him, fueling a relentless drive to seek out his fortune in distant lands. With nothing but determination in his heart and a thirst for adventure coursing through his veins, Beets embarked on a journey that would alter the course of his life forever. The Klondike beckoned, its siren song luring him ever closer to the promise of untold riches buried beneath the frozen soil. And so, like so many before him, Beets set forth on a quest that would test his mettle and shape his destiny in ways he could never have imagined. It was amidst the harsh realities of the Klondike that Beets earned his reputation as a formidable force to be reckoned with. Armed with little more than his wits and a steely resolve, he toiled day and night in pursuit of the elusive gold that lay hidden beneath the surface. Through sheer grit and determination, Beets clawed his way up from the depths of obscurity, emerging as a dominant figure in the world of mining. But with success came scrutiny, and Beets found himself cast in the role of the villain by those who envied his accomplishments. Tales of his brusque demeanor and no-nonsense approach to business spread like wildfire, painting him as a ruthless operator who would stop at nothing to achieve his goals. Yet beneath the veneer of toughness, there existed a complexity to Beets that few dared to explore. For those who knew him best, Beets was more than just a stern taskmaster. He was a man driven by a deep-seated desire to provide for his family and secure their future. Behind closed doors, away from the prying eyes of the outside world, Beets revealed a softer side, displaying unwavering loyalty to those he held dear. His wife, Minnie, stood as a steadfast companion throughout the trials and tribulations of their journey, her unwavering support serving as a beacon of light in the darkest of times. In the eyes of his children, Beets was not the fearsome figure that others made him out to be, but rather a devoted father who would move mountains to ensure their happiness and well-being. Despite his gruff exterior, Beets possessed a deep sense of compassion that manifested itself in the most unexpected of ways, whether it be lending a helping hand to a struggling neighbor or offering words of wisdom to a wayward soul in need of guidance. Yet, for all his virtues, Beets was not without his faults. His relentless pursuit of success often blinded him to the needs of those around him, causing rifts to form in the relationships he held most dear. His single-minded focus on the bottom line led to clashes with fellow miners and business partners, earning him a reputation as a man who would do whatever it took to get ahead. And so, the question remains, is Tony Beets truly a mean person? In the eyes of some, he may be seen as nothing more than a ruthless opportunist, willing to trample over anyone who stands in the way of his ambitions. But to those who know him best, Beets is a complex figure, shaped by the trials and tribulations of a life spent in pursuit of a dream. In the end, perhaps the true measure of a man lies not in the riches he accumulates or the power he wields, but in the hearts of those whose lives he touches along the way. And in that regard, Tony Beets may just be more than meets the eye. A flawed but ultimately redeemable soul, striving to find his place in a world where the pursuit of gold often comes at a price too steep to pay.